It's very
Evidently.
sad. Very sad. Let's try again. Chris is dialing in from North
Hello?
Carolina. Chris, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Welcome. You're on with Shannon Q and Seth Andrews. What's shaking?
Well, I'm just I believe in God and Jesus, but I'm doubt. I've got so many doubts, so many I don't know. It's cognitive dissonance, so these questions, and I'm so angry at God too. I just want to talk to somebody, maybe give God a piece of my mind in front of all these people, maybe if He let me. But one of the things I want to talk about that bothers me. Uh, I've watched a lot of atheist videos. You're aware of, I think I forgot who it was, but he said when he was a Christian, he started doubting, and he prayed to God, please give me faith. Please, I'm not asking for a sign. Please give me faith. And he ended. It's like the good shepherd through the sheep to the wolves. God just sat on his throne, twiddling his thumbs, and the person he converted. But someone like Corn, Brian Head Welch, the band Corn, who is in the drugs and wrecking his life. Just had a new daughter. He wanted to treat her good. He goes to church upon the invitation, and he goes home and prays, Jesus, are you real or are you just another drug trip? And all of a sudden he says that he feels a peace come over him, and he's all of a sudden he has an inner knowing, oh Jesus, you are the Father of everything. My question is, why if I'm afraid to say this, but why doesn't if God is real, why in the hell doesn't He do this to everybody if He wants everybody to be saved?
I don't think that he's real, so I'm not going to be able to answer that for you.
Let me ask you a
Yeah.
question, Chris. Let's just go point by point for just a second. You're obviously in a very
Okay.
well-churched part of the United States. Were you born in the Carolinas? Were you born in that part of the country?
I was born in Maryland, but when I was 6 months, 9 months old, I moved to Kinston.
Okay. So you've been in a well-churched part of the culture for a long time, right?
Yes. Yes.
What was
All
the
my life.
religion of your parents? Can I ask you that?
Yeah, they've been Christians too.
Okay. All right. Have you noticed that usually the two major determiners for someone's religious belief are family and geography? Where were you born? What was the religion of your parents? So if, let's say you and I had been born in Mexico, would we almost certainly be Catholic? If we were born in specific Eastern nations that practiced Hinduism, right? We'd be Hindu. If we were born in Saudi Arabia, would we not be Muslim? Right? So
Yes.
when you look at your life, how much of your faith do you feel like may have been inherited, Chris? How much did you come to on your own, and how much was sort of spoon fed to you from your earliest memories?
Well, that's the question. How much I'm trying to decipher how much is what I've grown up knowing all my life, and how much is personal.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think that's a wonderful journey. So, is it true that your parents brought you up around church and told you the Bible was true and that Jesus is real and all that stuff?
Yeah, it was more of a soft form of Christianity until I was 12 years old, and we switched over to a fundamentalist by hellfire preaching, and I was always terrified that I was going to hell. I asked Jesus to save me hundreds of times, but I could never be assured that I was going to be saved. That I was saved, and I went on a long journey, and finally, I believe I was saved in jail in 2014 when I finally gave everything to Jesus. But I got so many. I'll tell you freely right now. I'm angry at God. I'm angry, and I'm just angry. Period. I got so many. I'm angry at God for my insomnia, and sometimes I get so angry I even curse God because I can't sleep at night, and I've tried to get on Dr. Oz for my medical problems, and where's God when I need some help? Where's anybody? That's the thing.
Okay. Well, I don't want to shut Shannon out because I have a feeling she'll have better answers on this than I do,
I
but I
want,
did have one thought.
yeah,
I was a lot like you growing up. I was told that if without Jesus I would burn in hell, and that I there was no one worthy, no, not one. That's a quote out of the Bible. So I was brought up in a feeling where I was somehow the most important thing in the universe, important enough for Jesus to come and die for me, but I was also worthless enough to deserve eternal torment at the same time, right? And I
Yeah.
remember being so afraid of hell that I would say the salvation prayer every day. Lord, please save me. I don't want to go to hell. Please redeem me. I know I'm the sinner, blah, blah, blah. And I was in prison. It was traumatizing. It it broke me. And it was only really when I got out of the faith that I realized that no worthy, moral, just God would ever consider hell, would ever have even fathomed the concept of hell. It was when I got out of the faith that I began to think that I have value well beyond any God or religion. I am worthy. I do have value. And I
That
just
brings
want to
up.
give that encouragement to you. I don't believe that God exists. And I don't believe that God, if he did exist, who created hell, would be worth our time anyway. And I know you have value on your own terms, regardless. And despite the struggles you've had in your life, I just want you to hear out of my mouth that, you know, you don't need a validation from anybody else to give you your worth. You don't need a religion. You don't need a God. You don't need a dogma. You don't need anything of the kind. You have value on your own, and your journey is yours to take. If you feel anger, feel it. If you have questions, if you're confused, if you're frustrated, you feel it. If you feel skeptical, if you want to go out and ask hard questions and demand good answers, do that. You have every right to do that. I think it's a critical part of living an authentic life.
Yes, I like I like what you said. Uh, and it's God. What bothers me about God, God is love. Why is there eternal damnation? Why is there not a way? Is this God wants everybody to be saved, and that He can provide a way of salvation for the damned? That's one thing that makes me angry.
I think
That people
Shannon
have
and
to
I
run.
have we have a higher opinion of you than biblical Christianity has of you. How's that? Two atheists think more of you than the Bible does.
Thank you. And I like what you said about that. If you're falling and you got a gold cross, you might kiss the cross because it has a psychological effect. I like what you said about that. Hello.
All right. We have to
I
let you
like this.
go right now, unfortunately, Chris. So I'm seeing a message that we have to start taking some other callers. Thank you for the chat, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thanks, Chris. Bye.
Hmm. Oh, look.
Parlaying off of that, we have to let Chris go because there's some other callers coming through, and I'll just
Yep.
take a few seconds because I stole this time from Chris. But I think one of the worst things that the Christian religion does, one of the most nefarious things, is pervert the concept of love. Because when we love people, know what we would do for those people and know what we wouldn't do to those people. And the ultimate manifestation of love, what is supposed to be the ideal, template for love, demands that we love it, otherwise it's going to punish us. And I don't think that's what love is. And then in our culture, when you believe that, it becomes a huge source of dissonance. And then that leads to anger because you don't feel loved by the one thing that's supposed to love you unconditionally no matter what. And that's not a great feeling.
Well, it's an abuse model, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think the domestic abuser model totally works, right? You're nothing without me. You need to let me make all the decisions. If you get hurt, it's your own fault. Don't ever leave me, or I'll hurt you, or you will get hurt. I mean, I know that fundy Christians will always tell me that I'm crazy when I say, look, I really think at its core, Christianity is a domestic abuser model, right? Love me or I'll hurt you is a domestic abuser model. And I know a lot of people resist that, but I feel like it's,
Oh, I think that's exactly what it is.
yeah.